It's said that the shuffling of the cards is the earth, and the pattering of the cards is the rain, and the beating of the cards is the wind, and the pointing of the cards is the fire. That's of the 4 suits. But the greater trumps, it's said, are the meaning of all process and the measure of the everlasting dance. Charles Williams. Okay, hello.
Hello.
This is Remnants. We're your hosts. I'm Emily.
And I'm Kayla.
So this is another one of our, I think mini episodes isn't the word. It's not a mini episode. It's like
It's just a non-investigation episode.
Right. It's like a side project. Hey, this is a paranormal topic I find interesting. Let's look into it and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is.
Because as much as we love ghost hunting, we just can't afford or have the time to go for every episode.
Right.
As much as we'd love to. But.
Exactly. So this is kind of like a cozy episode. We have snacks that I won't eat because that would drive me crazy, but we have snacks and all the things.
Wait, are you sure people don't want to listen to us crunch on food while we talk?
I'm eating hot Cheetos. Probably not. I would kill myself. So today I brought to the class a presentation on tarot cards.
Woo!
Oh my god. And it's kind of like there's gonna be a lot of discussion. So please, I just hit a cup with my hand. Please interject as much as you want because it's gonna be me talking a lot. This is a multi-part presentation.
Ooh.
We'll get into what that means. I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's hard not to when we have so much information to discuss.
Yeah. But let's just dive into it.
Yes, I'm excited. I really know nothing about tarot cards.
I apparently knew nothing either, and I started reading, and I was like, ooh, this is cool. Okay. So, like many things that we now ascribe to the occult, tarot was originally invented as a game. And the tarot deck first came into existence in Italy in the 1430s as an extension to the four suit playing deck. So they were invented as a 5th suit, and the cards within that suit would trump the existing 4 other suits. So they kind of exist alongside each other. In some ways, they are different, but basically, once you play with that tarot deck in the suit, that's going to override the original cards, kind of. Which I had no idea, and I was like, that's really cool. The original tarot deck consisted of 21 cards. 20 cards were and you might be able to help me with the pronunciation. It's kind of close to Latin a little bit.
Yeah.
But the 20 cards were the Triumphi? This?
Yeah, I think it's Triumphi.
So they're the triumphs, and the one other card was Il Matto, and that was the Fool. And fun fact, the Fool in the tarot deck is not related to the Joker in decks we have now.
I was just going to ask that.
That card was not, it didn't come into existence until the 1900s. So it's a separate concept.
Really? That's pretty late. I almost thought it would have been a middle-aged jester kind of introduction. Interesting.
I didn't look into that too much, so that might not be true. But the Fool in the tarot deck is different. So, yes, I thought that was really cool. So, unlike most playing cards, the tarot deck, the illustrations were made with some sort of allegorical, I'm going to say illustration again, but every tarot card basically has an allegorical illustration on it. It's meant to represent something, essentially, and we'll get into this later, it's essentially a story, kind of, and it represents something specific.
Okay.
So that's kind of what comes into play with when tarot cards are used later for telling the future, because that's what they start
evolve.
Yeah, they evolve into becoming a fortune-telling device, which is super cool.
I guess I just always kind of assumed that's what it's kind of interesting that they started as a game. It's kind of like the Ouija board.
Exactly. And that one started as being more spiritual from the get-go than tarot cards. Tarot, it was literally just a game.
Yeah.
It was just a card game, and they're like, that's cool. We should do more with that.
Huh.
So the modern deck we see now for tarot is based off of the Venetian or Piedmontese tarot deck. Probably saying that second one wrong, but that's what it looks like. This style of deck, and this is where the problem, and also, side note, I have a podcast episode name that I'm petitioning Kayla to let me use based on this fact that I didn't realize until today when I was taking more notes. So the main tarot deck contains 78 cards divided into two groups, and that's the major arcana and the minor arcana. So my podcast episode name that I really want to use is Big Deck Energy. I've been on it all day. I think it's hilarious because it's just so many fucking cards.
I will allow it.
Thank you. I win. Okay. So the major arcana is made up of 22 cards, and each of those cards depicts a character, force, virtue, or vice. The minor arcana contains 56 cards, and these are divided into 4 suits of 14 cards. And these cards are much more like typical playing cards as far as like the suits, kind of. It's still different, but it's more similar than the major arcana.
There's a lot of math in your going on in your episode.
I know. When Kayla came over today, I was like, hey, sort these cards because I don't know Roman numerals. And she just, as soon as she walked in, she's just sorting my major arcana for my deck. It was fascinating.
She put me to work.
I did. And I have, like, of course I couldn't get like a normal deck with like the classic illustrations. I've got the super extra emo one that like looks like Sandman.
I love it.
Drawings, but it's like, who knows what these are? It's so freaking vague, but it's just a bunch of crows and skulls and things, and I don't know. I regret being extra now, but they are really pretty. So now that we've gone over the deck a little bit, don't worry, I'll talk about it more soon.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. I'm going to jump back to the history real quick. So tarot first strayed into the realm of the occult in France in the 1780s. Each major arcana card is ascribed a specific meaning that changes based on whether it is drawn upright or reversed. So you can draw, of course I'm showing Kayla and you can't see it. There will be more visual representations on our Instagram. So if you want to see that, you can go check it out there and kind of follow along, but I'm very visual. So I'm like demonstrating. And
I'm a visual learner for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, you can draw a card upright or it can be reversed.
Oh.
And that'll change what it means when you're doing a reading. So that added to the research.
Yeah.
Take 21 cards times 2, but actually 22 cards times 2. So while there are some that believe that there's like a spiritual being or deity governing which cards you draw, some people, like when they're reading tarot, some people will kind of just see it as more of like a consultant. Like you can use a deck to answer a particular question or navigate a problem that you have. And just pulling the cards kind of helps you. It's almost like a tool to help you come up with conclusions you might already be aware of. It's just helping you organize your thoughts.
Okay.
So it might not even really be like some mystical thing. It can either be, yes, you think that there is an entity or a spirit or something controlling your card results, or you're just pulling cards and it's helping you navigate your own thoughts a little bit more, because everything kind of represents something. And if you come at it with a specific intention, you might come to a conclusion that you find helpful. So yeah, you can look at it one of two ways. Yeah. But I've talked to people, and I'm not really into like Wicca or paganism or anything, but I've talked to people who are, and they have also, both of them have those differing opinions. Like one person is very much into like the deity aspects of things, and she's like, yes, my deity pulls these cards and helps me, figure out what problem I need to solve at that time. And the other person's like, no, it's kind of almost more like a narrative tool, and it just helps me think. So it's interesting. I keep hitting things. I talk with my hands. So yeah, that's kind of
I like that
bunch of information. Yeah, I like the narrative aspect a lot. I find that really interesting with them. So that was an unintentional tangent.
No, it was a good one.
Good. So now we're going to embark on the very long and complicated journey of discussing the meanings behind all 78 cards of the tarot deck.
Are we really?
Not all 78. But we're going into detail.
This might be a two-parter.
We're going into detail on 22, though.
Well, yeah, you gotta do the major arcana.
Yeah. So, like you said, we'll start with the major arcana. The major arcana represents the big things, which is like life lessons, karmic influence, change, your inner self. They are depicted by characterizations and archetypes. And the deck actually starts at 0. And it's technically an unnumbered card, but 0 represents the Fool. And when placed in order from 0 to 21, the major arcana actually tells a story known as the Fool's Journey. And this symbolic tale features the Fool as the protagonist, and each card in the major arcana is a plot point he must reach on his journey to self-fulfillment. I thought that was so cool.
It is.
I was like, that's a really fun fact. That's why I had you organize it. Like, get to work, woman. Okay.
So, wow, yeah. So,
so this is the Fool's Journey, and my Fool is super creepy. He's just a creepy Grim Reaper man.
Is me, Kayla the Fool.
You are the Fool in this story. This is your journey.
Ooh, let's see what I learned.
Yes. So the Fool. Upright, the Fool represents the need for deeper self-realization, while on our personal path of development. Reversed, like that, the Fool can stand for an unfinished side of yourself, a darker part of you need to overcome in order to achieve true personal development.
So both are about personal development, but one's kind of like in a...
Yeah, and like a common theme, like there isn't necessarily a good or bad with the reverse and upright. It's kind of more like...
You just might be in a darker place.
Yeah, like upright tends to be... And I'd like to add the disclaimer to, like, I'm not super well versed on tarot. Like, some of what I'm saying could be wrong, and if you have a differing opinion, I'd like to hear it.
Well, it also sounds like it's open to opinion. Like you're saying, your friends,
subjective.
Like one is like, my deity tells me, and the other one's like, it's just how I like to tell my life.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of partially subjective and it's left up to interpretation in some ways. But getting a reverse doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just might mean you have more obstacles or more things to work on. Whereas upright is kind of like you're more on the right path almost.
Okay.
Is kind of how I've been perceiving it. So that's the Fool.
Okay.
And then you have the Magician.
Ooh.
I said the Wizard. The Wizard of Oz. So unsurprisingly, this is considered the magic card. It can represent healing and transformation. When upright, the card can represent manifestation and creating your own dreams from within. When reversed, the Magician can stand for you getting in your own way. And perhaps you think your creation is too much or too little, and you need to have the courage to continue regardless.
I like it.
So that is the Magician. Next, two, the High Priestess. So on that Fool's Journey I mentioned earlier, the High Priestess is the Fool's first teacher. In the upright, this card represents contemplation and one's inner self. It can stand for natural and spiritual mystery. And when reversed, the High Priestess can indicate that you are too attached to your inner self and that you need to kind of come out of it a little bit because you're possibly falling behind in relationships and commitments because you're a little too lost in your own world.
Okay.
Which is... Well, that's really interesting.
That is.
Like, a lot of ways, tarot seems like kind of like self-help. Like,
it really, it's a way to like maybe look at where your life is going or decisions you've made or decisions you need to make and kind of putting it into a...
Right, like I really think if you go about it with the intention of, I need to look at things, I'm aware I need to, I know these cards have basic meanings. Maybe this will help me work through some things and come
almost like using an outside source to help you look at your life in a different perspective.
Yeah, it's like kind of a guided meditation almost.
Yeah.
The third one is the Empress.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's me.
You're the Empress. Yes. Upright, the Empress represents nature and nurturing. She is the maternal card. She can also represent a great karmic undoing of our plans. The reverse of the Empress represents punitive actions, a wrathful force like storms in nature. Basically, imagine this card advising you on different types of love needed, like gentle or tough. So it's kind of two sides of like, it can be loving and nurturing, or it can kind of bring down needed punishment. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad, like it could be like the tough love thing. But yeah, this can apply to yourself or to your relations with others. Okay. Number
What's
4.
next on my journey?
The Emperor. You have met the Emperor, fool.
Scary.
He's scary. Everybody's scary in my
Kind
tag.
of looks like from House of Dragon.
Oh, oh, what's his name?
Why can't I think of the
I can't
king's
either.
name? Her dad. Why is it escaping me?
Is it Viserys?
Oh yes, it is Viserys. Yeah,
he does. Oh man.
at least on Emily's deck, it does.
Yeah, he don't look so good.
No.
So the Emperor represents leadership and sovereignty. Upright, this card might be telling you to reinforce your mastery over yourself and your life. Reverse, the card might be telling you that you've become a tyrant and that you need to give up some control. Essentially, the reverse Emperor is telling you to get off your high horse. Number 5 is my favorite one to say, and I might be saying it wrong, but it's the Hierophant. Is that what you think?
Hierophant? Yeah. Hierophant? Yeah.
And I didn't go into all of this, but there's actually like a lot of interesting history into the names chosen for these cards and like the art chosen for them. So that's something that we're interested in. I'd go into more detail, but there's enough detail already, so I didn't.
Well, we just have a future.
Yeah, talk
Part 2.
more about tarot cards, Emily, please. So the Hierophant, I think, at face value, this card represents the study of natural law. Upright, the Hierophant tends to indicate that you are, that there is a resource available to you that can help you understand or reveal a secret of life. The reverse of this card can indicate that you are rebelling against tradition or your family in a way that could be harmful to yourself or others. Basically, the reverse Hierophant is cautioning you to make sure you're not biting the hand that feeds you.
Okay.
So that's that guy. Because he kind of, I think the idea behind this card is he's more of like an advisor and kind of a sage. So it's kind of like a card like, I know things, perhaps listen to me kind of idea. But then you're like, now I'm moving on.
It's Jiminy Cricket.
He's Jiminy Cricket with his face rotting off. 6th card is the Lovers. They're naked. Scandalous. Which, interestingly enough, in like the like typical old original art tarot deck, I think the depiction was like Adam and Eve. So they were also naked.
Yep. Or children.
They're naked. I can see the butt cheeks. So the Lovers. While this card can be viewed through the lens of romance, it actually represents diverging paths and the need to make a difficult decision. Upright, the card can indicate the need to choose between the path of pleasure and the path that leads to higher ideals. This can be applied to basic life or to your love life if you're struggling to choose partners. Or it could reflect the need to choose romantic love over an idealized fantasy of love. Like most things with tarot, it is highly subjective to the question you're seeking an answer to. So if you're doing a reading specifically for love life, that's what kind of be like, oh, maybe I need to choose somebody who I actually like, not just because they're hot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a mystic.
Come to Emily for your love advice.
So the reverse of the Lover's card may be telling you that you are existing within a divided situation out of obstinance and that you need to overcome your own double standards to make a choice and move forward. So, and it kind of does make sense when you think about the original depiction being Adam and Eve. It is very much a choice. Like you make this choice. I don't know if it's a good or bad one, but you're going to make a choice.
Yep. And you're going to live with it.
Yep. And then you're going to have to wear clothes.
No.
All right. 7. The Chariot. My chariot is pulled by a crow.
It's not going to move very fast.
They're just hopping along, just 1 inch at a time. So this card upright represents speedy triumph and the need to execute caution despite feelings of elation. Your ambition and the feelings of freedom that come with it are good, but danger does follow if you're not careful. When reversed, the chariot indicates that you shy away from challenges and opportunity and thus may miss out on opportunities again. You know, it's an opportunity heavy card, apparently, according to my notes. So you're missing out on opportunities to charge into success. Defeating this inner resistance will let you forge new, better paths.
This is the FOMO card.
This is the FOMO card. This is you're either on your chariot or you're not card.
But don't miss out.
Don't miss out or you're going to regret it. Okay. Number 8. Strength. Upright strength represents taming our wilder inner self in favor of our gentler feminine side. And I put that in quotes, feminine side. But
Yeah.
feminine, I think in this instance is used less as like actual like gendering and more as just
Gentle.
yeah, just like the associations with the word feminine.
Yeah.
More than anything. So doing this shouldn't eradicate or silence one side of you, but rather harmonize all sides so that all aspects of yourself can cohabitate. I was feeling very wordy when I wrote my notes. Reverse, this card is telling you that you may be in a situation where changed behaviors won't help, and you're advised to lay low to preserve yourself and safely navigate. So that's interesting. There are some versions of this card where it's just like, yeah, you can't really do anything about that. You're just gonna have to kind of let it go. Yeah. I'm just like,
So I mean, that's kind of life. I mean,
yeah. And I like kind of that the inverse of strength is just like persevering, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Oh, and this is Sauron. Or is it Saruman? I always get it mixed up. Sauron, right? Sauron. Which
Saruman's one? the wizard. Sauron, right? It was
I don't know.
The Eye of Sauron.
Yes. Okay, here's Saruman. Jesus. Saruman.
Stinking JK. Oh my god,
I can't. Everything's too similar.
I was gonna say his last name. I had a brain spasm.
Okay. So the Hermit, that's the 9th card. See, it's Saruman.
It definitely is Saruman.
This card upright represents recognizing your teachers in humble disguises, or even more simply, things within life that are placed there to teach us. They can indicate a need to slow down and reconnect to better communicate with the world around us. Mm-hmm. When reversed, the Hermit indicates a resistance to growth, a hesitation that is keeping us from learning and moving forward. You must overcome this to truly learn from whatever life is attempting to teach.
All right.
And Saruman is teaching us that we must burn down the forests and forge armies with Uruk-hai.
Up for interpretation.
And kill Boromir.
Up for interpretation.
No. Okay, 10 is the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know how that goes. I hate game shows. But indicative of time itself, the Wheel of Fortune represents change and time's progression. It is cyclical action. Upright, this card is a sort of peaceful navigation to one stage of the cycle to the next. When reversed, the Wheel of Fortune might mean that you have been kicked from one stage of the cycle and sent back to an earlier one, kind of like in Monopoly. Yeah. Just like, does that have
games I hate? I hate Monopoly. Don't ever ask me to play Monopoly.
Isn't that why like you're infamous in our friend circle for cheating at Monopoly?
Or is that Pirate's Life? Which I mean, I'm just being a good pirate.
Obviously.
But it's also become this like our friends have even like told their kids about it.
Don't trust Kayla.
Because we played with them and they're like, oh, Kayla cheats this game. I was like, how do they know? They weren't alive yet when we played this game all the time and I cheated.
Kayla starts life. It's like the rules are more like guidelines.
Exactly. I don't see why it's an issue.
So while the reversed Wheel of Fortune, being kicked back to an earlier stage of the cycle may feel like a punishment, it might actually be more like a reset more than anything. It's not necessarily that you're being, something's been canceled out. It's that you're getting the chance to start anew and, have a second chance at something. So again, it's another thing that could be perceived as bad, or it's just kind of how you take it.
Right.
That's what's creepy as hell. 11, Justice.
Ooh, she don't have eyes.
Justice don't have eyeballs. Justice is blind. What is that?
Taken out with a hair.
Stan. That's what you get for sleeping with somebody, murdering somebody's husband because he wanted to sleep with his wife. So Justice, this card represents judgment and karma, the idea of what goes around comes around. Upright, this card may be telling you to look at all the details when coming to a judgment to ensure that you're acting fairly. It's important to remember that eventually you'll get what you give. Reversed, the Justice card may indicate that you're not being shown all the details by choice of some higher power. Your best course of action here is to wait until the story resolves itself and all truths are revealed. Yeah. So again, like all of these cards are just advice cards.
Right.
It's like,
there's a lot of situations in life where, it's like maybe, you just need to sit back and let the pieces fall, or
and
karma might get you.
And there'll always be some element of chance when you're doing like a tarot drawing, because then you're going to have to be like, oh, so this card's reversed. I know what this normally means, but now it's telling me that I have to wait. Okay, I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
So the 12th card is the Hanged Man. This card represents an impasse, kind of. Its action alone isn't going to help you, and you can't retake control of a certain situation.
Okay.
So it's another thing where you have to wait it out. Upright, the Hanged Man is telling you to study and plan for when you are finally freed from your current situation. This is basically telling you to take good from a bad situations. Reverse, the card may be telling you that an action you're considering out of some sense of martyrdom might not be benefiting the greater good as much as you thought. Reconsider self-sacrifice to determine if it will actually lead you to any personal expansion.
All right.
So don't be a hanged man.
Do my best.
Yeah, don't be a hanged man, fool. Okay, this one's spooky. Death. Was that a guillotine back
friend?
There? Hello, darkness, my old friend. That horse has fingers for a mouth. This card's gross. I don't know. It's yucky. So obviously this card feels pretty damn ominous, but it isn't actually bad. It doesn't represent literal death, but rather the ending of something, a project, a relationship, a process. It can also represent a time of harvest, and like the fruits of your labor. Because, if you don't harvest stuff when it's ripe and time to be picked, it'll die. So, yeah. When reversed, death tells you that you need to let go of something from your past. You need to free yourself from dead weight and stop dragging the dead horse around. Yeah, death is kind of just like moving on, which it is. But yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with literal death, though.
Yeah.
Okay. 14. Temperance. Upright, this card refers to an evolution of personality. You are tempering your inner metals to forge something new. This can come as the end result of a forging experience, an arduous task that produces your new tempered self. When reversed, temperance may be telling you that you're at risk of giving up on yourself. Make sure your fear of growth is not hindering your evolution. And it's the lady with a cup on my card.
Yep. She's probably the most...
she's not so creepy.
Yeah, the least creepy
This
version.
next one's a little risque.
Cool.
I don't know what's happening there. But 15 is the devil.
I'm not sure
they might be having sex on that card.
Yeah, it's
there's chains, there's a big crow with horns, there's sex.
Their positions are scandalous.
Oh. These are my dirty cards. I look at them when nobody's here except Kayla. I'm like, look at my dirty cards. So again, this card isn't as dark as it sounds. It actually represents our innermost shadow selves, our true desires and most passionate wishes. Upright, the card may be telling you to embrace those shadowy parts that you feel compelled to keep hidden from society. Essentially, you should be your truest self. Reversed, the devil may indicate that you are reveling too much in chaos and disorder of your own making. You may need to ensure you're not being destructive out of a simple need for amusement. I guess that's why there's people having sex.
Yeah. Are you being too distracted?
Don't have sex in front of big giant crows. That's destructive.
That's destructive. Noted. I will take that with me through life.
Memory, the mistake.
Don't have sex in front of crows.
They're tricky.
They're tricky. They'll watch you and judge you.
And they tell their friends about it. Where'd they learn that move?
From the devil.
Yes. Okay, 16 is the Tower. Which, side note, I'm very interested to see if that had anything to do with Stephen King's Dark Tower series. It might not, but now, researching tarot just made me think of all these things. I'm like,
well, it said it gave you a book idea.
It did.
So perhaps
there's so many cool, things, and, it's just... My brain's just been crow sex.
So maybe I don't know if I'll read your book if that's a scene in it.
Yeah, that's actually what I just am going to write a trilogy of smutty books about crows.
Well, you know what? There is a niche for everything.
I'll get big on Wattpad. Okay, the tower. This card represents change, upheaval, and rebellion. It is the toppling of the older order to make way for the new. Upright, the tower may be telling you that a fresh start is coming. Reversed, the card indicates that the change has occurred and you are left in the rubble to rebuild.
Well, all right. Interesting.
I think there's a Bastille song about that. I can remember. It's like one of my favorite songs too. And it's just, all right, 17. The Star.
Ooh.
This card tells you to think beyond your day-to-day concerns to focus on your higher purpose once more. Focus on what feeds your soul and what you believe to be the sole purpose of your life. You may need to release some perceived sense of control to fully realize what is helping you navigate. Reverse the star may indicate a momentary alienation from your sense of self or sense of usefulness. That thing that makes you feel like you has become elusive, but it will not stay hidden. Either that, or perhaps you have let yourself forget the thing that makes you feel like you, and you must give yourself time to reconnect.
I like it.
Yeah. And this one was like, it was a very spiritual card too. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it was, a lot of it had to do with like spirituality, if you believed in like a higher power and stuff. Like if that was something that was important to you.
The Moon Lady.
She's creepy as fuck.
I like how our different. I'm like, ooh, the Moon Lady.
She was
And
like, she
Italy's
went-
like, she's scary.
She's like, hello, I'm the lady in the moon. I'll eat your soul. 18 is the moon. The moon represents imagination and creativity. It stands for what we can produce if we take down the barrier between ourselves and the unknown. It's the well we allow ourselves to tap into whenever we embark on a new creative journey. Reversed, the moon may be telling you that you're creating false realities. You're deluding yourself into believing something that's untrue or letting your anxiety dictate your perception. So it's like how you saw the moon lady and how I saw the moon lady.
Actually.
Okay. 19. The sun. It's a little guy on a crow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Icarus flying too high.
I don't know. You know, there's a lot of creepy stuff happening in these cards. Upright, this card stands for goodness. You are wholly yourself and at peace. You're in a good place and have found balance. Like all things, this time is temporary, but it is a good sign for your current concern or venture. The reverse of the sun isn't actually bad, and this is one of the few cards that doesn't have a necessarily negative reverse. It's all good. It encourages you to take this time of peace to count your blessings or to spread your prosperity with others by giving. So,
Cool.
yeah, the sun's just all good stuff.
Well,
Doesn't look like it on this card, but
no, I think the Moon Lady looked.
there are
nicer.
flowers in the background, so maybe
Oh, that's true.
that helps. But
Just not sure
the naked guy in a crow,
riding
yeah.
the crow.
It's a little too intimate.
Yeah, it's kind of it's weird.
So,
Is this the one that gave you the book idea?
yeah. Like, I want a bunch of naked crow riders. That's my bookstore. It's gonna be a great.
It's gonna be on HBO.
It's gonna be like Aragon, but yeah, like it's gonna be on. It's gonna be the next Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
Game of Crows. That's one of his modes, a Feast of Crows or something. Anyway,
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Judgment. That's 20. So we're getting near to the near the.
This crow's got an instrument. He's like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo, I'm here.
That's the Judgment Crow. Don't make fun of his
He's
horn.
blowing the horn.
He got a hat on too, I think. Is that his hat or is that his feathers?
And the rest of the crows on the card are partying in a cemetery.
Oh, that's just lighting. It's not a hat. Yeah, the rest of the crows are partying. He's judging them with his horn. 20. It's kind of like the climax, I guess you could say. This point of the story is meant to represent the convergence of every self the fool has gathered through his journey. Upright judgment indicates a sort of victory. You've cleared all inner barriers and defeated all conflicts in your path. This card encourages you to trust yourself because you're operating as your highest self. Reverse judgment may point towards an external blockage challenging your progression. You don't need to let these challenges stop you. Your response must be to navigate around them and continue forward.
Alright.
And here we have naked crowhead lady with batons.
It's my life goal.
I'm going to need to post some pictures of my tarot deck. 21 is the world. Did you know that's what the world looks like?
Well, does anyone really know?
Anyways, the fool's journey ends here. Like the sun, the world has no negative alternate meaning. It is completion, a sense of knowing oneself. It is meant to represent what comes when we accept our true natures and allow ourselves to have creative freedom. If this card is drawn in reverse, you may be experiencing a slowdown in events that requires introspection, but you're still progressing.
So is my true self. I got a crow head.
You got a crow head, and you might need a wax.
I did notice that, but I wasn't gonna bring it up.
I did. But you got some nice boobs.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't look at that card closely before. So that's the major arcana.
Nice. I've been on a journey.
You've been on a journey. Any thoughts, fool?
So many
That
thoughts.
was aggressive.
Yeah.
I feel like my deck made this much more interesting because it's just weird.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to post these.
Yeah, there's some winners in that.
I also want to, look at a more traditional tarot deck too.
Yeah, I kind of want to.
Because I'm really curious.
I did have a picture pulled up. I will show you. Oh, there's my big deck notes.
I mean, there's a lot of the same.
Yeah, I mean, most people are still naked.
Yeah. Well, it was
And
the
honestly, the
Italians.
world
They
still
liked
has-
naked times.
Yeah, she still has boobs and
And the batons.
Batons,
She
so-
just has a human head.
and honestly,
But there is a crow on there. Or a bird.
Yeah, and I think my judgment is less weird because it's just naked people with an angel blowing a horn at them. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That means when the angel blows a horn when you're naked,
Stop.
you've been judged.
You've been judged. No naked parties.
No naked parties. I mean, honestly, the crows are wearing more clothes. Okay, so that's not the whole thing. That's not all of the tarot deck.
Yeah, that's true. It's just the major arcana.
Yes, but I am not going to go into the minor arcana with as much detail because I think I would lose my mind. If I did, I might have already, honestly.
She's taking me with her.
I know, we're insane. These cards represent the trials and tribulations we encounter in life on a day-to-day basis. These cards tend to be more temporary influences than the major arcana. They are actions that can be easily made and situations that can be quickly changed.
Okay.
So, there are 4 suits in the minor arcana: Cups, Pentacles, Swords, and Wands. The suit of Cups represents feelings and emotions. When drawn, a card of this suit tends to be related to matters of the heart. And we'll go through those more in a little bit. The suit of Pentacles represents your finances, career, and material possessions. Drawing cards from this suit is indicative of a wealth-centered reading. The suit of Swords represents your thoughts and actions. Oftentimes, swords can represent a decision or the need to communicate. So it's kind of like I said, it's just action. It's like something you gotta do. The suit of Wands represents your energy and passion. Typically, drawing something from this suit represents your life purpose and spiritual calling.
Okay.
Within each suit, there are 10 numbered cards and 4 court cards because obviously we needed more cards.
It's kind of like in a deck.
Yeah, those ones
yeah.
get back to the regular kind of playing deck almost.
Yeah.
The court cards are meant to represent personality characteristics that you can demonstrate at any time. So I'm just going to run through what's in the suit of Cups to kind of get an idea of which minor arcana suit looks like.
Okay.
So the suit of Cups contains all of the following: Ace of Cups, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, 4 of Cups, 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups, 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 10 of Cups, Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, and King of Cups. Cups, 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 cups. Each card within the minor arcana has its own meaning based on whether it's drawn upright or reversed, just like the major arcana.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into all of them because it's too much. But if that's something anyone's interested in, we can make a video series or do another episode on this at some point.
Yeah, we could do an episode on the minor.
It's just a lot. But what I will do with all my fun new knowledge is do a tarot reading for Kayla.
Oh.
Yeah. Given that it's the new year and we just did our 2023 vision boarding last night,
We did.
I am going to just broadly set the intention of this drawing as like 2023 new year. What should Kayla do to kind of navigate the new year and her goals and, just very basic life stuff. That's what this is, our 2023 vision board manifestation tarot reading.
Love it.
For Kayla. So another thing, because it's so detailed, tarot readings, there are different ways you can do it.
Okay.
Typically, everyone would start with shuffling your cards. Obviously, I've got my deck all broken up right now. I don't even know why I did that now, but I'm going to shuffle them all together, and then you have to find some way to draw it. When I was talking to my friend who's into Wicca and everything, she said she kind of like will shuffle and as cards fall out, she says, those are the cards I was meant to draw. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to shuffle, and I'll probably find some way to have you just pick cards.
Okay.
And I'm going to use those.
Everyone's called me.
Yes. And then from there are different types of spreads you can do to organize the cards you pull, and you have to lay them out in the spread in order. And I've decided that we are going to do one called the Celtic Cross. And this consists of 10 cards.
Okay.
And each spot on the cross is a different point. So in the Celtic Cross, the first card we put down is going to indicate your current situation. The second is going to be your challenge. The third will be what you need to focus on. Fourth is your past and what you're leaving behind. Fifth is your strength. 6 is your near future. 7 is advice. 8 is environment. 9 is hopes and fears. And 10 is potential.
Okay, I like it.
Yep. So, and at this point, we will hear lots of shuffling as I try to figure this out, and this will all need to be edited out. Because I can't shuffle worth a damn. Okay, how do you shuffle cards? What do you do? Help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Give me any help.
Seems like a good mix.
Okay, and we have shuffled the deck. So I think what I'm going to do,
Take me on a journey.
I'm going to spread some out.
Okay. I pick 10.
Yeah, so why not, here, let's just spread these. I'm just going to spread them all out.
And this is the whole 78 card deck.
All
big
of the
deck energy.
So feel big deck energy. Feel like you can shuffle through this as much as you want and pick whatever cards you want and just give them to me in order. So, well, we'll just make sure I keep track of the order. I'll lay it out.
Oh yeah, you can put it on your bed.
Yeah, I'll lay it out on there. I have got the Celtic Cross picture.
All right.
So just draw and I will lay them out on my bed. But we are now going to do Kayla's reading for her 2023.
Ooh. Tell me what my 2023 will bring.
So we'll start with 1, which is your current situation. So you have 7 of Cups.
Looks so real ominous. Not gonna lie. It reminds me of the veiled one in D&D.
It does. So you have a veiled specter in your current situation.
I sure do.
All right, 7 of Cups. So this, and you got it upright. This represents opportunities, choices, and wishful thinking, and also illusion.
I feel like that is very good because our podcast is probably my biggest thing.
Yeah.
So for 2023.
So that's
it's an opportunity in my wishful thinking.
Yeah. So yeah, that could be a good thing. And that is your current situation. So that seems to fit pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like it.
So 2. This is your challenge.
I love.
Okay. You have reversed 1 of Cups. Love, new relationships, compassion, and creativity. That's your challenge.
Did you literally hear me say that when you said, "Oh, now to your challenge"? I said, "Oh, it's going to be love."
Did you say I didn't hear that?
Recorded. It is recorded.
Well, the spirit of tarot has run through you.
It
Your
sure
challenge
has.
is love.
Wow, that is kind of.
But it does say new relationships. I mean,
it doesn't have to be romantic love, I suppose.
No,
it can just and it can also be creativity.
But you did get it reversed.
So I was looking at upright. Sorry.
Self-love, intuition, and repressed emotions. Are you repressing emotions, Kayla? Uh-oh.
I don't think so. That was my face was like trying to think. But you know what? Maybe that's something I need to look into.
Maybe you need to practice self-love and intuition and work on your repressed emotions before you could have the upright card of love.
Well, that's...
You are in the self-love.
I need to do some self-love.
You need to upright your reverse. Okay, what was 3? 3. You need to focus on.
Oh, God! This looks like, I don't know, it's a very creepy, scary guy. Jeez.
There's no way
Maybe-
reading can look positive.
I think I need to work on my self-defense to defeat this guy. That's
Hang on, he's 4 of Pentacles. I need to figure out what that means. So you need to focus on saving money, security, conservatism, scarcity, and control.
I sure do.
That's definitely in mine.
Yeah, I definitely need to work on saving money and paying down debt.
So that is what the tarot is telling you, and that is debt. That scary clown man.
Well, you know what? Debt is fucking scary. So that is, yep.
But yeah,
And that is a goal of my 2023. So you know
there-
what? I do need to focus on that. That is very accurate. I like it.
okay. Now we're gonna go to 4. Each one, and 4 is your past and what you are leaving behind. Okay, reversed Knight of Wands. This represents you need to leave behind your passion project, haste, scattered energy, delays, and frustration.
Well, I'm not leaving behind my passion project.
we're gonna scratch that off. But
I can, you know what?
the other things.
There's some frustration in my work life that I do need to let go. So that I would agree with that.
Yeah, passion project is staying though, tarot.
Yeah.
You take that back.
Yeah.
Okay, 5, which is your strength. 8 of Cups. You're a cup lady.
Like my cups.
You've got a lot of matters of the heart that you have to address this year.
Well, you know, if you're into the Enneagram, which I am, and I'm a 2, and the 2 is the heart.
That's interesting.
That's each of the 9 categories, they're divided into 3, and a 2 is the heart.
Mm-hmm. And I always, I'm
You're a 6.
which is logical,
Loyal.
I always get, like, whenever I do mine, it's pentacles heavy, and that's like money and materialism and career. Okay, so you're upright, 8 of Cups. What is it, your strengths?
How is that a strength? I'm really good at disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, and escapism. I'm really good at life kicking me.
You were good at handling disappointment. Escapisms
You know what?
are bad.
I'm an optimist. So, you know, a lot of times I do turn things, I always try to look on the bright side.
That's
so
true.
perhaps.
So that's what you're good at, looking on the bright side. That's your strength.
Yeah.
Just put in a very bad way.
I better keep good people in my circle because
no more abandonment and disappointment and sadness.
Interesting.
Okay. So 6, you're in your future. I'm a little scared now. The Hanged Man.
I was supposed to stay away from the Hanged Man. We
Okay.
talked about that earlier.
What specifically did the Hanged Man mean again? I don't quite remember. So we're gonna just read this full definition from the site, which is tarot.com.
Official.
So the Hanged Man usually indicates a lack of ability to help oneself through independent action. The energy is arrested and awaiting judgment. With this card, there is no avenue for the will to regain control until the situation has passed. This represents a good time to be philosophical, to study and meditate upon the position you find yourself in, and to form resolutions for the moment you become free again. Only those who possess wisdom, patience, and optimism, will be able to see through limitations, including possible humiliation, to grasp the inspiring lesson one can gain from such an experience.
Well, you know, this is kind of fitting with my previous one, that my strength is I'm good at being kicked, so.
I don't necessarily like this as like the forecast for your new year, though. It's fine. It's fine. Well, all that's saying is that you're going through something, or you will go through something, and you just got to be patient.
Yeah.
7 is advice.
Okay, let's see what this.
This is good. You need advice.
It's a creepy bird man.
He's got a plague mask.
He does was
Two of Wands. Okay, so personal goals, inner alignment, fear of unknown, and lack of planning. So
this is my advice.
Yeah, let's So maybe you need to work on planning, and to achieve your personal goals, you have to be in alignment with yourself and not be afraid of the unknown, and maybe just plan a little bit more. I don't know. You want to avoid the scary Birdman.
Duly noted.
That is my advice to you. Here's this in more detail. The Two of Wands reversed encourages you to draw your attention inwards and focus on your personal goals.
Well, that's good.
Consider what is truly important to you and what lights you up. You may have headed in one direction only to realize it wasn't in full alignment with your deeper values and purpose. This card invites you to go back to the drawing board and reconnect with your dreams and ambitions, then make the necessary adjustments to your path ahead.
This is very fitting for us making our vision boards last night, I think.
Yeah. See, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Just because it's a scary Birdman in the picture doesn't mean it's scary.
I mean, honestly, 95% of the tarot cards are kind of scary looking.
Yeah. Okay. 8. Environment. That is... Which one was that? Temperance. So you have Temperance in reverse. What number is that?
14.
The Temperance card reverse suggests that you are in danger of giving up on yourself. Something is making you feel apathetic and ignore what you deeply want and need. You may be morbidly overemphasizing the chaos and disruption that would come with change and growth. We've talked about this.
We have.
Rather than focusing on the regeneration and liberation that could be yours. Try to carve out a day in which you do only activities that make you happy. Eat well and get some rest, then take another look at life. If you do not gain a better perspective, seek help.
All right.
That's not bad.
That is. That's my environment. Okay. Well, today I am doing things that make me happy, and I took a nap, and...
See, you already did it on your own.
Without me even knowing.
Okay, 8. Or 9.
9.
9 is hopes and fears.
Oh, God. Oh, serious.
So that's the Emperor.
I've actually gotten kind of a lot of major arcana.
You have. Look at you. You're a big deal.
I am big.
You are a major arcana.
This is my hopes and fears.
Oh, this means you're a tyrant.
Well, I am a little bossy.
When the Emperor card is reversed, there may be a tendency to behave like a petty tyrant, insisting on being indulged, served, and flattered. This Emperor prefers his own version of events to what is actually true, and as such risks losing the respects of his people. That's like when I'm talking, you're like, no.
Kind of, yeah.
Try to curb whatever arrogance might be distorting your point of view. Remember that, though the Emperor looks like the king, he is the servant of everyone in his realm. If he doesn't serve well, the negative impact of his own defects are what will bring him down.
Am I not serving you well?
You are not serving me well, Kayla! You are not!
I will work on it.
How dare you, Kayla? Okay.
All right, what do I got last?
Your last one is potential outcome.
Oh God, I'm so scared of this one based on how this
It's
is
the
gone.
furthest away, too.
This is going to be death. No.
Okay, 10 of Wands. You are
It's
carrying...
like a crow carrying a crow.
You are carrying a crow on your back.
Something is, got the weight of the world.
10 of Wands. Let's go to the full description.
I think I've only gotten wands and cups, right?
Yeah, you're a wand to cup lady.
And major.
Okay, so the 10 of Wands reversed.
Oh,
And
no. It's upright.
Oh, I just assumed. Okay.
I've had a lot of reverse.
10 of Wands upright. The 10 of Wands notes that you are taking on extra burdens, a heavier workload, a great responsibility. Even though it is weighing you down and making things tougher for you, you understand it is only temporary. So you are willing to put in the hard work now to accomplish your goal and reap the rewards later. For example, you may work extra hours to save up for a family holiday, or you may help out a friend with moving house, knowing they will return the favor when you move later in the year. Or you may care for a sick family member, adding to your responsibilities at home, but knowing you are loved and deeply appreciated. So that is your potential outcome, is working hard.
and taking on extra burden. Well, you know what?
I bet, but it was with the implication that you would reap a reward from it. So,
well, you know what? Doing this podcast, I love it, but it is a lot of extra work when you're working full time and trying to also solve.
Like, what did you do with your Sunday? I wrote a 7-page paper on tarot cards.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I did a tarot reading.
Yeah,
that's it. That's Kayla's. That's your future, madam. I have told your future.
Well, we'll check back a year from now and see what has happened.
All right, and that's all I've got for us. That is tarot.
I actually learned a ton. I really didn't know much about it. So
yeah, I learned a ton too. And then I did my first official reading.
I think it went pretty well.
I do.
Emily's tarot reading is open for business.
Yes, it's very slow and clunky because I have to look everything up. But you'll get something read. You might have direction. You might be scared for your life. I'm here to help.
Yeah, so, DM us if you want that.
Yeah, if you want, I will do an online reading for you. We can do a video call.
Yeah.
I charge a coffee per reading. That's fair. Yeah. Follow us on Patreon.
I paid you in a Dr. Pepper.
You did, actually. Caffeine gets me to tell your future.
Yes.
We'll also accept hot Cheetos.
Or both.
Or both. Both gets you the Celtic cross.
That's
yeah. That sounds dirty.
So thank you for listening, and follow us on Instagram at Ribnanspod, and leave us a review on Apple would be awesome so that other people can find us. And yeah, let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah.
More of, less of.
Yeah, I feel like less of Emily talking and fair.
I talked a lot, and
it's true. You didn't talk about a lady's boobs or other things related to that bird woman.
Bird woman. But yeah, we'll see you guys. Or I keep saying see, but
we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye. Do